So welcome again. If you're just joining, welcome to Headspace Live. We're going to catch up and do a little bit of meditation, whatever time of day it is where you are. I hope that you are healthy, that you're well, that your family, your friends are healthy and well too. When we caught up a couple of weeks ago, we were looking and chatting about kind of the most sort of basic form of meditation. And I was saying one of the nice things about that is just how simple it is. There's nothing sort of complicated about it. You can apply it to pretty much any situation in life. And I think right now, when there's so much noise and so much complication in our lives, it's actually really nice to have a very simple meditation like that to fall back on. But there's lots of meditations. There's lots of different types of techniques. And one that we've been playing around with in our morning Take 10 catch-ups with various guests that we've had on Instagram is something called loving kindness. Now, right now, we're all experiencing this global health crisis in very different ways. Some of you will be at home on your own and might be experiencing loneliness. Some of you might be in apartments, houses full of people, maybe family, maybe housemates, and really craving some space. I think the one thing that connects us all is that there's probably one person, at least one person, who we really miss, who we would really like to see. Maybe we're still able to connect with them via FaceTime or Zoom or whatever it might be. But to actually get the feeling that we get when we're with that person, I think is not necessarily an easy thing. So today we're going to do some loving kindness meditation. Now, it's a visualization exercise. And lots of people, I reckon at least 50% of people will say that they struggle with visualization. So a few tips on visualization. Number one is that it's not really about the visualization. So it's about the feeling that the visualization generates. So don't worry too much on getting the perfect picture in your mind. Like over time, that will get sharper, that will get clearer. It doesn't matter that much. It can actually be a really blurry picture and you can still have that feeling. So focus on the feeling rather than the picture. Second one is when you begin the visualization, once you've imagined it, as much as possible, kind of imagine that it's happening on its own. You're not trying to direct it. You're not trying to control it. You're not trying to make it happen. It's almost as though it's as easy as sitting back and watching a movie or watching something unfold in front of you. So there's no sense of kind of effort. And then the third thing is often when I say to people, okay, imagine yourself sitting somewhere. They're like, hold on, but is that this self or is it the picture of me in my mind? So in this exercise, if I do say, imagine yourself, forget about this body sitting here, just picture yourself sat somewhere kind of really comfortable. And I'll go through the instructions. So with loving kindness, you might think that we would immediately begin with directing it towards somebody else. And you can do it like that, but I actually think it's really important to start with ourselves. So most of us are really hard on ourselves. Most of us are quite self-critical, self-judgmental, and we give ourselves quite a hard time. And unless we have a feeling of kindness and love for ourselves, it's really difficult to share it with others. So traditionally with this technique, we start off with ourselves and kind of generating a feeling of that towards ourselves. Then we kind of focus it on somebody who's very sort of near and dear to us. And we kind of work our way down the line all the way to somebody who maybe we don't even like, or maybe someone who we've had an argument with recently. It starts to get a little more challenging. We're not going to go to that end of the spectrum today. Today, we're going to focus on how to be kinder to ourselves and how to be kinder to somebody, or how to direct a sense, a feeling of love and kindness to somebody who we're really missing in the current situation. So the meditation itself starts in the usual way. So as always, I'll guide you through it. And as I say, I would treat this as in terms of the effort you put in, it requires a very small amount of focus. 10%, maybe something like that. So just have that in mind as you're going through the exercise, knowing that you don't have to get it perfect. It's okay for it not to be very clear, and focus instead more on the feeling itself. As always, you can do this sitting up or lying down, whatever's most comfortable for you. Just always bear in mind that lying down, you're more likely to lean into the relaxation side of things, and you may fall asleep. If you're sitting up, there can sometimes be a tendency to lean more into the focus thing and not experience sort of the relaxation. So try to find that balanced position, posture of the body where you feel both relaxed and focused at the same time. So we're going to start with our eyes open. So eyes open, just to not staring at one thing, but aware of the colors, the shapes, the space around you. So just as I explained the visualization, it doesn't need to be a clear picture that we're seeing. If anything, we're able to see everything, but not any one thing very clearly. So it's a very soft focus. And just maintaining that, taking a big, deep breath. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. So just one more time, breathing in through the nose. And as you breathe out this time, if you'd like to, just gently closing the eyes and just feeling the weight of the body sink down. And just take a moment. So wherever you've just come from, whatever you've just been doing, leaving that behind. And just feeling that weight, that contact of the body pressing down against the seat or the floor beneath you. So just taking a moment to check in with the body, notice how the body's feeling today. Just as a guide, whether it feels heavy or light or restless or still. And then just starting to become aware of the breath. So just noticing. So to begin with, we're not really focusing on each in-breath, each out-breath. We're just noticing the general feeling of movement in the body as the body breathes. So as it creates that rising and falling effect. Maybe it's in the shoulders, the chest, the diaphragm, the stomach. You can't feel anything, just gently place your hand on your stomach. So you can feel that rising and falling sensation. And we're just going to stay with the breath just for the next 30 seconds. So again, think of this not as concentrating, more as just allowing the mind to settle, to rest on one particular object of focus. And allow any thoughts to come and go. And if at any stage you get distracted, just gently acknowledging it and bringing the attention back again to the breath. So as we settle the breath in that way, just take a moment to think of who that person is that you'd like to send that feeling towards today. And you can think about this in any way. It can be a feeling of health, of happiness, of love, of kindness. The words maybe not so important. Again, it's more about the feeling. Think about who that person is that you would like to share that sense of positivity towards. We're not going to imagine them just yet, but just so they're clear in your mind. And then I'd like you to imagine yourself. So let go of the other person just for a moment and imagine yourself sitting in your favorite place. It might be somewhere where you regularly visit, might be somewhere where you visited just once in your life. But that place that you know makes you feel happy, relaxed, and at ease. And as you picture yourself sitting there, you know that feeling when you first step outside in the sunshine, and it's as though the sunshine slowly sort of moves through the body, almost so you feel it in your bones. It slowly spreads through the body in just the same way. In picturing yourself, I'd like you to imagine a sort of a flicker of that sunlight in the middle of the chest and in the middle of your body. And it just begins slowly to expand outward in every direction. So as you watch it expand, it's as though you're watching yourself relax. You're seeing yourself look increasingly at ease. You're seeing maybe the posture change. You're starting to see your shoulders drop. You're starting to see maybe a smile begin to emerge in your face, if there's not one there already. Just in the mind, just in that image. And you just watch as that feeling, that sense of sunlight expands outwards. And with that sunlight is that sense of kindness, again, happiness, love, however you like to think about it. But it's as though you're experiencing it to such an extent that it's relaxing you, that you're looking increasingly at ease. So we take about 20, 30 seconds just to watch it slowly expand until it goes outside the boundaries of the body and it seems to just continue outward in every direction. You may even start to see yourself move beyond a smile. Maybe there's some gentle laughter. But seeing yourself being happy until it looks as though you couldn't be any happier, any more at ease, any more relaxed, and then you let go of that feeling. Don't worry if you didn't immediately connect with the technique or with that sensation. It just takes a little bit of practice. So we're going to practice again. Now this time I'd like you to imagine that other person. So in just the same way, picture them in somewhere you know that they would enjoy, you know that they would like to be. Might be in their favorite chair, might be in their favorite place. Doesn't matter. Might be out in nature. But just seeing them clearly sat there. In just the same way, we imagine that little flicker of sunlight containing that feeling of happiness, love, and we just watch as it begins to expand throughout that person's body in every direction. As it moves outwards, it just melts any tension, relaxes the muscles in the body, brings a sense of relief and ease to that person in a difficult time. It's almost as though they're just able to let go of anything that's troubling them right now, as that light continues to expand outward in every direction. Again, maybe just starting to see the person look a little more at ease, perhaps beginning to smile. And if at any time it feels too much to focus just on the visualization, you can still be with the breath. So in one part focused on that movement of the breath, at the same time, just a gentle attention on the visualization. Just allowing that sunlight to expand until you see that person looking as happy as you could imagine them looking. And at that point, you just let go of the image. You allow the image to dissolve. You gently come back to the breath again. So we're going to do that just one more time. You can do it with the same person again, or you can choose a different person. But in just the same way, we imagine them. So we start off with them just sitting comfortably in a place you think they'd enjoy, that you think they'd find relaxing. And we start with just that little flicker, a little pinprick of light in the middle of the body, in the middle of the chest. And it just begins naturally to expand on its own. And it expands in every direction throughout the body. And as it expands, again, it just melts any tension, allowing that person to relax, to feel more at ease. And almost as though it's just happening on its own. You're just watching it happen. So I'm not really thinking about the exercise, just watching the exercise unfold. So as it expands almost sort of beyond the boundaries of the body, you see that person looking as happy as you've ever seen them. You see them looking as relaxed as you've ever seen them. And just allowing that feeling to remain. And then just as we did before, just letting go of the image, but allowing the feeling to remain. Just giving yourself a few seconds, just let the mind do whatever it wants to do. And then just gently bringing the attention back again to the body, to that feeling of contact. Maybe coming back to the space around you, the sounds. And whenever you feel ready, you can just gently open the eyes again. As always, take just a moment. Notice how it feels. Again, don't worry if you don't feel an immediate connection with the exercise. Don't worry if you don't feel an immediate sense of love or joy or happiness or anything else. It tends to unfold differently for everyone. And to begin with, there's actually quite a lot of information there. But in essence, the technique is very simple. It's wanting to share the good stuff that we have, that we've experienced in our life with another person, wanting them to experience that too. So ordinarily in our lives, and again, it's a generalization, but just the way that the dynamic, the mind works. We tend to want to hold on to the good things. We tend not to kind of be so proactive in sharing the good things. It's as though we're worried about losing them because we know what the alternative is. Likewise, we tend not want to experience the difficult things, the challenging things. So we tend to sort of keep those at bay in our mind. So this sort of changes things around a little bit, and we actively, intentionally kind of seek to share the good things. So if ever you're struggling with this exercise, think of a time in your life when you've experienced a sense of just pure delight, happiness, joy, love, again, however you like to think about it. Remember that time, even before you begin the exercise. That's what we're sharing with the other person. As you're watching that sunlight expand through their body, that's what they're experiencing. And again, it doesn't matter about the image so much, the clarity of the image. It's more about that feeling and a sense of connecting with that other person. Because it's not just now when we're in quarantine, in lockdown, that this matters. Often, even when we're with people in our lives, people that we really, really care about in our lives, we don't necessarily have that feeling of connection. But for a lot of us right now, we do have some time to practice these techniques. Now is a really good time to practice these techniques. Not only so that we feel connected with those people we can't be with right now, but also so that when we come out of lockdown, we are more able to maintain or sustain that connection with the people that really matter to us. And we'll have a look over in the coming weeks. There's kind of an extension of this as well. There's an extension in terms of applying it to people, as I say, who we might have difficulty communicating with at the moment. But there's also kind of a further extension from that, where we really sort of flip things around, and we actively sort of take on the difficulty of others while sharing sort of all the positive stuff. But we'll come on to that in future weeks. In the meantime, if you have any questions about this technique, about this exercise, or about anything else about meditation, please leave them in the comments below, and I will do my best to come back to them next time. In the meantime, I hope you continue to stay healthy, safe, and well, and of course, all the people around you. And thanks again for taking the time out today to come together and do something which is not only important for our own health, but also the health and happiness of the people around us. So thanks again, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye for now.